Welcome to Grand Prix, your go-to channel for the fastest updates in Formula One. We've got 3 hot stories for you, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay ahead of the pack. Let's get started. Sergio Perez may have stepped away from the Formula One grid after the 2024 season, but according to new reports, his story in the sport is far from over. A recent statement from none other than Mexican billionaire Carlos Slim has added fuel to the growing speculation about Perez's return. Slim, known for being a longtime supporter of Perez throughout his F1 career, including during his time with Red Bull, has now gone on record saying that Checo will indeed be back in Formula One in 2026. Since Perez's departure from Red Bull, the driver has remained without a seat for the 2025 season, leading to widespread speculation about his future. Various rumors have linked him to several teams, including Cadillac and Alpine, though nothing had been confirmed until now. According to Slim, Perez not only has offers on the table, but is actively weighing his options. He emphasized that the decision lies entirely in the hands of the driver, but from his point of view, there is no doubt Sergio Perez will be back on the grid in 2026. One of the most likely destinations for Perez is Cadillac, which is preparing to enter Formula One as the 11th team on the grid. Cadillac has made it clear that they want to start strong by pairing their debut with a seasoned, well-established driver, someone who can bring immediate experience and credibility to the project. Perez fits that profile perfectly. Not only does he bring more than a decade of F1 experience, but he also has proven racekraft, podiums, and victories to his name, including a stint as Max Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull. If Slim's statements are accurate, and given his past involvement with Perez, there's good reason to believe they are, then it's just a matter of time before an official announcement is made. According to Slim, the 2026 return is already a certainty. What remains to be seen is which team will finalize the deal, and whether Cadillac will succeed in securing Perez as their anchor driver for their inaugural season. From a sporting perspective, a return to F1 in 2026 could be a strategic move for Perez. The 2026 season will also usher in a new era of power unit regulations, aimed at making the sport more sustainable and electrified. For new teams like Cadillac, these regulatory changes offer a more level playing field. Pairing technical innovation with the stability of an experienced driver could be the formula they need to be competitive from the outset. There's also the question of Perez's motivation. After spending a year off the grid, many wonder what kind of performance we can expect from him. But if history is any indicator, Perez has always been a driver who thrives under pressure and adapts quickly to new environments. A comeback in 2026 could serve as a revitalizing chapter in his career, a chance to lead a new project, mentor a rookie teammate, or even contend in the midfield battles with a fresh outlook. Of course, Slim's confirmation does raise new questions. If Perez is returning, does that mean Cadillac already has its driver lineup quietly locked in? Will the team pair him with a young American driver to appeal to the North American fanbase, or opt for another experienced racer to double down on consistency? Fans have taken to social media with mixed reactions. Some are thrilled at the idea of seeing Perez back on the grid, particularly as part of a new and ambitious project. Others are skeptical, wondering whether he still has what it takes to perform at the highest level after a year away from racing. But one thing is clear, Perez still commands attention, and any team that signs him will be getting not just a capable driver, but a global fanbase and a strong commercial asset. So, what have you been thinking about Aston Martin's recent performances? After a series of underwhelming races, the team finally seems to have found its footing again following some much-needed upgrades. Their car is showing noticeable improvement, and with that, Fernando Alonso has been back more consistently inside the top 10. The veteran Spaniard has regained some of the confidence that defined his early season form, and it's showing, not just in his driving, but in his attitude off the track as well. A particularly fun moment took place during the Canadian Grand Prix weekend, where Alonso made a lighthearted bet with a journalist interviewing him. The terms? If Alonso finished on the podium, the journalist would have to grow a mustache just like the one Alonso sports these days. In the end, Alonso crossed the line in 7th place, so the journalist got off the hook, for now. But the story didn't end there. After the race, the two renewed the bet, with Alonso confidently doubling down on his odds. The journalist, clearly skeptical, joked that they could keep the bet going until Alonso retires. Alonso, however, had something else in mind. He proposed a clear deadline. The bet now runs until the Dutch Grand Prix. And according to Alonso, if there's any race where he truly believes he can return to the podium, it's the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Alonso admitted that Aston Martin still doesn't have a podium-capable car at the moment, but he's hopeful that the team's current development trajectory will put them back in the fight in the next few rounds. It's a bold prediction, some would say too bold, given how strong the competition has been from Red Bull, McLaren, and Mercedes, but Alonso has never been one to back down from a challenge. The coming races, especially in Silverstone and Zandvoort, will be critical for Aston Martin. If their upgrades continue to deliver results, it's not unthinkable that Alonso could sneak back into podium contention, especially in mixed weather conditions or on a track that suits the AMR 25 chassis. Whether it happens or not, the playful bet has added a bit of personality and humor to the paddock, a refreshing reminder that amidst all the pressure, Formula One still has room for fun. Now, let us know what you think. Will Alonso make good on his bet and climb back onto the podium in the next 5 races? Or is this another case of overconfidence from the two-time world champion? Share your predictions in the comments below and stay tuned, because if Fernando does pull it off, we might just witness one of the most stylish podium celebrations in recent memory. Tensions are quietly rising behind the scenes at Ferrari, as recent weeks have seen the Italian media swirl with speculation surrounding the future of team principal Frédéric Vasseur. According to several reports, Vasseur could be facing mounting pressure from within the organization, and if results don't improve soon, he may be at risk of being replaced. Alongside this, rumors have emerged suggesting that Charles Leclerc is becoming increasingly dissatisfied with the internal dynamics of the team and could already be eyeing potential exits to other teams on the grid for the 2025 season. These rumors have all pointed toward Ferrari president John Elkann as the figure behind the escalating pressure. The narrative presented is that Elkann is not pleased with the current trajectory of the team and may be seeking major changes, either through replacing top leadership or possibly losing one of their star drivers if morale continues to decline. During the most recent Grand Prix weekend, however, Ferrari went on the offensive to shut down these rumors. Multiple members of the team, including Vasseur himself, issued firm denials. They claimed that there is no truth to reports about a possible shakeup in leadership or an imminent departure of Leclerc. Vasseur took his criticism further, directly calling out the Italian media for what he described as irresponsible reporting. According to him, none of the claims circulating in the press have any basis in reality, and the stories are doing nothing but creating unnecessary turmoil within the team. But the situation didn't end there. In response to Ferrari's rebuttal, the Italian Association of Automotive Sports Journalists, UIGA, released a formal statement addressing the accusations from the team. The association defended the role of journalists in covering the sport, making it clear that their job is not to support a specific team, but to inform the public of what is happening, accurately, responsibly, and independently. The statement acknowledged that while certain types of news can indeed impact individuals and operations within a Formula One team, that cannot justify suppressing the truth or discrediting professional journalism. They went on to emphasize that all published stories regarding internal unrest at Ferrari were sourced from individuals within the team, suggesting that their reporting is based on credible information rather than mere speculation. In their closing remarks, the journalists also highlighted the current struggle in the media landscape, the tension between maintaining accuracy and the need for speed in a world increasingly driven by clickbait and sensationalism. They argued that while Ferrari may not be comfortable with the reports, no ethical lines were crossed in the coverage. The back and forth between Ferrari and the Italian press highlights a broader issue in Formula One: how teams manage public perception, and how that perception is shaped by both results on the track and stories off it. Ferrari, as one of the most iconic and scrutinized teams in the sport, is no stranger to media pressure. The expectations are always sky-high, and any underperformance is often followed by a wave of speculation about leadership, strategy, and driver dynamics. It's worth noting that Ferrari has had a history of turbulent management changes, particularly in periods of poor performance. Fans and analysts alike have grown accustomed to the idea that a string of bad results could lead to shakeups, especially when the team is still chasing its first Constructors' Championship since 2008. This context makes the current wave of rumors feel plausible, even if the team officially denies them. As the team continues its season, all eyes will be on the next few races. Strong results could quiet the media storm and reinforce Vasseur's position within the organization. However, any further struggles could reignite speculation and put even more strain on Ferrari's internal dynamics.